And in the Impact segment tonight, as you may know, one of the co-hosts of The Five, Bob Beckel, is a big-time liberal guy. But on Monday, he surprised a lot of people.
I think we really have to consider, given the fact so many people hate us, that we're going to have to cut off Muslim students from coming to this country for some period of time so that we can at least absorb what we've got, look at what we've got, and decide whether some of the people here should be sent back home or sent to prison. I think that we ought to be very selective in allowing any Muslim or future Chinese students in here, because Chinese students are brought here, taught computers, go back home, and hack us.
Here now, Mr. Beckel. You got a little hysterical there.
I have a pretty strong feeling, particularly about the Muslim piece of this, but I have taken a beating from my side, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Okay, now, what is your vision here, though? I mean, just to say no more Muslim students come to the USA? What is your vision?
See, this is why I'm glad I have a chance to explain this. I think that the 75,000 Muslims who are here on a student visa ought to stay here, although about 15,000 of those never showed up at the school they were at.
Well, then they out of here.
If you could find them, they would.
We'll find
and also the schools that signed the letter saying they were going to come there ought to take some penalty. But then you've got 20,000 more coming in September for the next school year. My point is, and the FBI has got a number of open cases on student visas. The FBI showed us in Boston that they were not exactly on top of their game. No. They've got a lot of things they need to do. My point is, let's take a 2-year hiatus and finish up the investigation of those people that they're looking at now. Once we're satisfied that we've looked at everybody and that the Muslims that are left here as students are not radical people, then let's put it back together. At 2 years, 48 months, that's all I'm asking.
That sounds pretty reasonable, Beckel. I mean, I'm getting nervous here because the powers agree with me, and now I think you're reasonable. 15,000 out of 75 is a big number.
It is.
All right, that's 20%. All right, that's a big number of Muslim students jumping their entry visas and not going to school. So I agree with you. We should freeze it now until we can process where they are, who they are, what the schools are, and figure out what we have. But it's a bad PR problem for friendly Muslim nations to the United States that are actually helping us. They may feel that, you know, now we're snubbing them and being disrespectful.
Yeah, well, I would feel compassionate about that if I listened to one person from those Muslim communities, leaders either in politics or in the mosques, who at one point, anyone tell me, whoever said it's a bad thing that happened in 9/11 or any other terrorist act, not one of them ever stepped forward.
Let's be realistic here. Kuwait helps the United States. Got a huge base there. Kuwait helps. Saudi Arabia intelligence helps the United States. Some of the Emirates, some of the Gulf nations help the United States.
And have they come out and said anything about any of these terrorist acts?
No, and the reason they haven't is they don't want to fight a civil war inside. They don't want to fight a civil war inside.
But that doesn't interest me. That's their problem.
Okay, no, but it's our problem too, because Bob Beckel has to be a responsible American analyst by saying we don't want to tee off people who are helping us. Now, I happen to agree that we could finesse this because you know how good John Kerry is, and he can go over and tell everybody, hey, you know, it's not personal. We just have to sort some administrative stuff out. All right? And Abdul will be able to come over in a year or two. Now, the Chinese, you're talking them off. Do you really want to do that? You're accusing every Chinese student of being a hacker?
So you're willing to say it's okay that these Muslim countries do not say this is not the way Muslims are supposed to act?
Is it okay? No, but I understand why they don't do it.
You understand why they do it.
They don't want a civil war inside their own country.
Saying it's a terrible thing is not going to cause a civil war.
Oh, those imams, are you kidding? Those radical imams? You got a politician out there? They'll come after you.
Listen, you've got these students coming in here from radical Muslim countries. They don't like us, they hate us, and they're taught that from the time they're this big.
Well, they should be vetted, shouldn't they?
That's absolutely.
All right.
Should be vetted.
That's why we're spending billions on a Homeland Security agency, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is not working out all that well.
Well, I don't know about that. Let's be fair. We've been safe since 9/11, except for this. They made a huge mistake on this Tamerlan guy. You know, people make mistakes. But I'm with you in spirit. We suspend the Muslim student program for maybe a year. We clean out what we have. Right. The Chinese, I think you're making a mistake. Look, I went to the Kennedy School at Harvard. You probably know that. And you couldn't get in there, but I did.
I taught there.
You might have been able to teach there, but you couldn't get in. All right? Anybody can teach there.
Gotcha on that one.
Okay. And they had a lot of foreign students from all over the world. And the goal was to get these students to see that America was a good place, to learn our culture, and to take it back to their country, and to convince people back there that we weren't the great Satan. So it's a noble goal. It works in some cases. It doesn't work in others. So I don't know if you want to settle the Chinese, hey, we're not taking any of you guys because you're all hackers. I don't know if that's the best strategy.
Wait a minute. It's doing a good job, that student program, isn't it? We're just being beloved in certain parts of the Muslim world. And China, look, the Chinese, in my view, are the biggest threat to the United States, much more than Islamic.
Do you really want to isolate them?
I don't care.
Do you want to insult them?
I don't have any problem with that. They have a long memory. They don't like us. And if everybody sits back and says, oh, the Chinese, we got business over there, just watch. They're waiting, and they're patient people. Right. But here's the thing. They are the largest single hackers of any country in the world by 10 times.
That's for sure. And I don't know if we take it out on the students.
Well,
by the way, I want to tell everybody, Beckel, you'll be subbing for Rush Limbaugh next week.
That's
Beckel,
sure.
the new right-wing guy.
Don't even think about that.
And we